Hello and good afternoon, everybody. I'm glad to see you all. And hello to Deborah, my friend Deborah. I always get so happy when we're going to work together.
I like it too. I look forward to it too.
I do
Thank
too.
you for having me.
Of course, of course. So today, Deborah's got a little treat for everybody. She's going to be doing the numerology today. And I'm going to leave this up for a few minutes so everybody can see it. And I'm going to give her, actually, I'm going to start her off by giving one of mine. And then I'm going to do the shadow work with that particular person. So even if you have a really good relationship with somebody and it's, it works out, there's always shadow that can be lurking in the background.
Well, one of the reasons I really want to have, like, see, now SR says husband to be and a birth date. And I want someone that you have disruption with. That's the whole idea. I want daddy issues. I want mommy issues. I want that kind of stuff. So if I could, if I could have people look at that way, I'm having trouble right now with my sister. Here's her birthday. That's what I'd like.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm going to say that I've had problems with my daughter. I don't really right this minute, but she's been a hard person for me. And her birthday is 12/16/77.
Okay.
And my daughter. Yeah.
Awesome. Let me just throw some numbers out here on my computer.
Oh, yeah, CJ, your boss. Oh, that's good.
Oh, gosh. Okay. So let me make sure of this because it's you, right? I mean, I do it for everybody, but this means a lot because I've got I forgot what your number is. Do you remember your life path number?
I think it's a 4.
Okay. Yeah. So I've got a 34/7 for your daughter, which means she's pretty bright on stuff.
She is.
And really smart, but she would have. Can I ask if her career is in academia?
It should be. She's a therapist. Yeah.
Okay, that's about. Yeah. So she's about understanding the human condition, which is the hardest thing 7 can do because you don't have a formula. Can't put it in a formula, but people who do study it, like your daughter. Now you are unique enough that in the real world, if you guys were just friends or met on the street or on the bus, you probably hit it off because 7s are curiosity driven.
Oh, she is. She reads 50 books a year.
Yeah. So you would be very, very interesting to someone like her. But since you have a dynamic together, there is a bit of a competition. She admires your wit and your tenacity. You both have something in common, and that is delayed gratification. You can work at things for a while because the end is going to, happen, whatever. So you have that, but it would be a hard dynamic for both of you, but it's because the 7 needs to not be as narrow-minded and the 4 has to be not as narrow-minded. But you're both great debaters. Great.
Yeah. Debaters. And she, when she was a kid, it was an argument about everything. You could never agree on anything. And as she's gotten older, it's gotten better, but she's very, very intelligent, but she does not always have the best common sense.
Yeah, that's because they live their life. When we expect something, we have a friend, we expect them to do certain things because they're our friends.
Right.
The 7s will do that because everything has to be a formula. And so when you fall short of that, that's
Amanda's Sagittarius have parent issues. Well, it's very interesting you say that because her therapy, the reason she went into 2 things. One was she counsels grief, which she's had a lot of grief. She counsels narcissistic fathers. And she hasn't talked to him for 10 years. or more. Never will.
So there's that daddy issue stuff.
That daddy issue. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow. All right. Hypnicity. Thanks. Hi, Scott. I want to say hi to everybody. Hi, Scott. Hi, Play. Hi, Amanda. John Turner, SR, Hypnicity. Play Love. Kelly S. I hope you're all moved, honey. Mystic Next Door. Linda. Sonia's here. Anya's here. And CJ's here. And Anna. And I know I saw Sarah, which is wonderful. And I think did I get everybody? If I didn't, I'm sorry. Ness came in. Rossi. Okay. Thanks for being here, everybody. All right. So thank you. That was very telling. Now, what I'm going to do is you're going to put up who you want to know. If you know what your number is, she probably will ask you. And then I'm going to pull shadow cards for the relationship between the two of you. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Hi, Denise McMullen. Yes, it's nice to see you. Okay, Dawn, I gotta get that. And Anna. All right. Oh, Anna, your birthday's coming up, girl. Good for you. All right. So SR, this is her ex-husband to be.
Her ex-husband. Oh, her ex-husband to be. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me just. So it might sound like we're ganging up on one person, but it's and another thing I want to say, if I describe something about that person and you say, that's not at all like them, watch yourself, check yourself. Maybe it is like them, but you don't like it, that it's like them, and or something that you haven't, because I get my hair goes on fire when that happens. So, oh, that's not like me. Well, consider you might be so far off of who you're supposed to be at soul level that I'm the messenger. Entertain the thought that, all that stuff. So
absolutely, yeah.
I've got a little bit of. I'm a little uppity today for some reason. So you might get a little of that too.
Oh, you're uppity?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
I've got a tude. I'm copping a tude today.
Put that back up.
So the thing is, SR, is that your ex-husband to be needs to be number one. And there are things you can do as a couple. So people who have partners that are one life path, 28-1 life path, they want stability, and they want they're supposed to be here to master relationships, but all through that, to have stability and relationships and all of that stuff, they still need to be favored, feel like they're favored. And so some people who are with that, that's just natural, right? And so I'm not going to throw shade on that, because what you could do is recognize that in the beginning, or recognize it from now on out, to say, oh, he must not feel like he's number one. Let me, I don't know, send him a gift or send him a text or something like that. But you need to have a full heart. If you're angry, if you're the one angry with them, then you can't do this. But if you have a full heart and really want to get back together or something like that, entertain the thought that they just need to feel like they are number one in your life.
Ah, okay. Wow. So what did I get, SR? I get here that either you had too much confrontation, or your confrontations did not progress. You weren't able to communicate really well with each other, which would be a difficulty, of course, in the shadow. But it also says jumbled thoughts. So because you couldn't communicate, it was very difficult also to escape from what you needed. There was a lot of anxiety, and there was a lot of confusion between that communication. So hopefully that makes sense. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, because you just kind of have to recognize, who am I with this person?
With this person.
Do I like the person I am with this person? Yeah.
Yep. That's right. Thank you, SR. All right. So CJ. Oh, this is a good one.
It is a good one. I like that you have your boss's birthday. That's really helpful.
I know. Yeah.
Okay. So He's a 3811, which means he can think outside the box. But of course, he will want to have the facade that he's rigid and there's no give and all that stuff. But if he was true to himself as a person, that's how you would find him, being flexible, interesting. He is goal orientated, and he is also has more of a chance of financial success than the 2911, because a 2911 has a little harder time with emotions. Mm-hmm. But 11s, 38 have emotions as well, but they need to feel like the bot, and it can be narcissism there, a lot of it. But here's the key. And if you can say it with a full heart, do it. But if you can't, don't do it. Be yourself. But just say, I would have never thought of that.
Uh-huh.
I would have never thought of that. And there's something he's done or said that was a shock for you or a revelation or something. It doesn't happen every day. But if you can say, you know what, boss, I would have never thought of that. Good job. Bravo. Uh-huh. That will go a long way.
Okay. So I get the impression he has limiting beliefs. And there's your mindset problem that, you're open-minded. He's not. So there's some of that. He's very close-minded. Look at this. It's almost like he's an old man tipping over here, very close-minded. And it says here, unwilling to consider other perspectives or entertain new ideas. So that makes perfect sense by what you're saying. Yeah. Wow. That's interesting.
She says, yes, on target. That's nice. Thanks for the feedback.
Yeah, thank you. All right. So this is Dawn Turner, and her birthday, by the way, if you need it, is 3/19/70. And this is her sister, 7/21/72.
Oh, I was thinking those are not the numbers I see.
Yeah, she's in Canada, so she does.
So this is going to be
British
sister. Okay.
Yeah. Interesting. Now, this is the third person that I believe is a Cancer. It's like, I believe that, maybe it's the second. Maybe it's the second person. No, SR has an Aries, CJ, and then, and then we have, all right, Dawn.
What I've got, Dawn, here is your sister has trouble controlling her emotions on the inside and the outside. So if, even if it's expressed, sometimes when you're mad at someone and you, take a stick and hit the tree or something, you feel better. Not a 2911. It'll stick with them. And so unfortunately, you say something wrong or do something that she misinterprets or something like that, or can imagine you're doing this on purpose, then it kind of sticks and it projects the rest of the conversations. So that's one of it. So how you get closer with this, if you have a full heart, you want to say something, just say something you've admired about her. One thing that I've really admired about you is fill in the blank. Even if you're in the heat of, especially if you're in the heat of a conversation that's heated, take a break, and that'll reset her back to normal, and it'll reset her back to get the emotions out and say, oh, okay, well, I'll reconsider liking you now. It'll be instant.
That's so interesting. It says here, you need to move through the fear and show up and have courage when you're doing that. And that's exactly what Deborah said. And you need to ride the storm. It says, let chaos and turbulence, just let it go. And
there's another thing people can do. And it is this. People, she's very perceptive. People are perceptives. And so if you can say something like, oh, sis, I had a bad day. I went to the store and this happened, and I just lost it. It's like, you can say, I lost control of my emotions and I'm so embarrassed because I turned into this, blah, 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 whatever it is, if it really happened. But if you could bring up where you yourself had challenges losing control of your emotions, because that is something she's kind of embarrassed about. And so if you can say, oh, everybody loses their control over their emotions, it's nothing big.
Yeah. Everybody does. That's very true. Well, Dawn, you're welcome. She's a storm at times, but so are you. Well, that, and that's part of the beauty of is the recognition that you're not perfect. So she isn't either, but that's okay. Yeah.
But it's a way to hold out the white flag without actually saying surrender.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So I'm going to put up Sonia. Those of you who came in late, your Deborah's reading on a birthday of somebody. You can put husband, you can put daughter, aunt, whatever you want, friend. Just put their birthday in. And if you're having a hard time with that relationship, or you do, it's difficult, then Deborah's going to do a reading on it, and we'll see what comes out. It might be a lot of fun.
It is, yeah, because I want troubled people, troubled relationships.
Troubled people. Sonia says she is a life 3 path, just so you know.
This is Sonia, heavenly blessed.
Heavenly blessed, honey.
She's 3?
Yep.
Oh.
She's a 3.
Oh.
Yep.
That says a lot.
Oh, it does. Okay.
And this is your older daughter. Okay.
Yeah.
So you taught her how to be creative and spontaneous, but she grew into someone who is rigid and quiet, and well, it might not be quiet if you're in a relationship that screams and stuff, but she's in 35-8 life path. So your 3 life path came in. The reason you're together is because she needed to learn the 3. It's a 35. 8. So you were her greatest teacher. But one of the things that is very difficult for her to be around is lighthearted spontaneity. It just makes her uncomfortable. She's not broken. Neither are you. It's just something that she glitches over a bit. So if you say, I'm going to go up to the Alps and dig for crystals, she would see that as a waste of time and money, unless she's into that, but that kind of thing. So that is just, she glitches when you decide to change your mind last minute.
Oh, and my daughter does the same darn thing. And they're both Sagittarius, as Sonia. That's funny. That's very funny. All right. Thank you so much. All right. So next we have the lovely Linda Kennedy. And she would love to know what to do with Doreen, her sister.
Doreen.
163. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah. Doreen. 63. Another 2911. Oh, wow. So we really do attract people who are the master numbers, and all these people with 7s and things like that. Even if you're a 3, it's like, and you're in this group, it's like you're a step up. You're looking for that. And this 29/11 means that they do have trouble with their emotions. And it's almost like this is what she will do. You will say something, she will say something to you challenging that she's struggling with. That doesn't mean you fix it or give advice. But one of the things you're really good at is being a big sister and giving advice. And then it's accepted at the very beginning, but then she'll start putting the brakes on, saying, wait a minute, you don't boss me, you don't know anything about me, that kind of stuff. So it goes back and forth. But if you were to say things more like, oh, wow, you're struggling with that. I remember struggling with that too. So I just want to tell you, you're not alone, and don't give her advice. Then she'll I guarantee, then she will literally ask you for it. What do you think about ABC? Wait until that happens.
Okay. She's a wounded person, is what I get here. She's wounded. I think we talked about this, Linda, but this is interesting. She also has hidden longing and desires. Things I think she wants to be seen. And when she isn't seen, she pouts in the corner and is a wounded person. So whether that's true or not, I don't know. But there you go. Yeah.
Hi, Gerald.
Yeah, Gerald's here. Thank you. Hi, Stacy, too. All right. Let me get back to where I need to be. All right. Kelly Scarborough, her son, 10/30/98, and she's 9/30/64. That's right. She's one of my birthday twin people.
30/64. 98. Oh, this is going to be a fun one because it's the same as yours.
Oh, no. She's a day. Oh, but maybe the year makes it the same as mine. Oh, okay. All right. I forgot. She's a youngin'.
Yes. So 32. So you, Kelly, you are 32/5, which makes you loosey-goosey. You can start one thing and then change your mind and do something else, and another thing, and you'll do it all well. So that's the thing. You do it all well. Whereas, is it your son? Your son struggles with that a bit. It's a lot like the 11 that, it's a lot like the other numbers, but see, he's a 31/4, which means that he needs structure and safety over and above carefree living. In other words, and if he is broke, if his housing is uncertain, he won't know how to breathe around that. So if you need to be sensitive about things that are very important, and it's difficult for you to be sensitive to it because you're naturally saying, "Oh, we'll just catch the next flight. We'll just find a better price in rent," or you are that way. You can move around kind of easy. You're more comfortable with risk, and he's not. So that might be the glitch.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
he's very rigid. She says, "Yeah,
yeah."
So he, now that he's a 31/4, you go on Google and say, what does a 31/4 life path mean in numerology, and read up on him and become enlightened,
There you go. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, there's something about, he's very unique. He wants to be very individual. That's what I'm getting for the shadow cards. He's his own authentic self, and he doesn't really, I'm getting the feeling he doesn't really want to be, and that's good. I mean, he just wants to be who he is and not what everybody else wants him. But sometimes he's not aware of the reality that he's living in. And sometimes you can't be your authentic self if that is rude, or if that is, something that would hurt somebody else. So.
What's interesting about the 31/4 is this: the two numbers prior to your life path number are your life lessons. And so he needed to learn how to stand on his own, which apparently he has just fine. And the 3 is about creativity, being flexible. And now if he grew up to be interested in art, creative stuff, he would not only just paint well or whatever creative stuff he is, he would own the gallery. And then he would have another gallery, because the 4 is where you make the money. So if he can be a little more flexible with creativity.
Yeah. So he's very rigid. I get it. I mean, I do. Yeah. Wow. If we only knew, we could plan the day that we could have the child that's more, fits with our personality.
There will be a day, I'm sure of that.
There will be a day. All right. So the next person is Play. Her birthday is 4/28/60. I'm sorry. She says she's a life path 3, if that helps you. And she's got, this is her son, 11/21/92. Yeah.
And she is what? A 3, you said?
Yeah. Life path 3.
Mm-hmm. So you've got okay. This is her son. So 27/9. So get this. Every time you look a 9 life path up, it's the humanitarian. It's the all, this love, light, and love all people. And it's not true. I have discovered that's not true for me. And I've tested out the numbers and vetted these numbers. What I have found is that a 9 will be confrontational. They kind of want to debate things, and they test things by stretching them. And if they don't break, they'll keep it. That kind of stretch and keep. They can also be idealistic in love. And so it's your son. So he says, well, if my mom really loved me, she would know I want a sandwich or whatever. That's what happened to, when he was a little boy. If you really paid attention to me, because legacy is really big for them. If all the older people pass away, he's the one with a garage full of their stuff.
Okay. Wow. Well, that makes sense, because he's got to do 2 things. He's got to express his shadow side by being creative, because this will help heal him. And this will also help him self-reflect. So if he's going through a really tough time and he can be creative, then this awareness will really be quite astounding for him, if he can get out of his own way.
Isn't that true for everybody?
Everybody. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So we've got hypnicity, and let's see. I know she put her. Yeah, she's got her birthday 6/25/60, and all right.
Okay. And I'm down to yours 6. That's right.
Oh, go ahead, Deborah. I'm sorry.
I was thinking you were 2911, and he is a 5 life path. 6, 7, 8, 9, 14/5. He's a 14/5, meaning that he does not feel comfortable inside of a commitment. In fact, that's the 5th in my book coming out. That's the 5th chapter with Joe could not keep a commitment because he feels like he suffocates when he does. So whether he goes through the motions or not, saying yes to a family dinner, and if he gets to the family dinner and it's not vibing with him, then he'll motorboat through, but people will know he's in a bad mood. That type of thing. Now you give a lot of room to people. You step back from whatever is going on out there far enough so you can see the perfection of it. So that's your superpower there. But he could be just understand that he's a little nervous about commitments, and so he doesn't feel comfortable all the way. You can feel comfortable with it if you know that's what you have to work on.
Yeah.
Wow,
that's wonderful. He's only 9, but he doesn't want to go to school.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what school is? You have to sit down this time, and then we go eat this time, and then we go playground this time. Yeah, he wouldn't do that.
So everybody, thank you. I just want you to understand that we're taking your birth date and a person that you have maybe a little misunderstanding with or a tough relationship with, and Deborah's looking that up. So if you put in yours, please put in the person. You don't have to say their name, just like sister, brother, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
So your little grandson is starting to ascend, believe it or not, even at his age. And if his mother's babied him, that's the generation that does that. I'm seeing a lot of people they're babying their children, and they need to be able to stand on their own 2 feet, even if they are 9, because there's a place to go. And he's got some anger issues. And you already said that in a way, because you said he doesn't want to go to school, And so there's something about school, it seems, that he doesn't like, and he doesn't want to go because of it. And if you get a chance, everybody, watch Adolescence on Netflix. Certainly doesn't have anything to do with a 9-year-old, but it's the new way kids are in school. And it's a little frightening. So it's good to know, though. It's just good to know. Yeah. All right. Oh, it's today your birthday, Maureen?
Yay.
Oh my goodness. All right. Let me move on to the next person. We did play Anna. Anna's next.
Oh, Anna.
And my daughter, 10/26/67, and she's 4/28/39. All right.
So it's a troubled. That's another 32/5.
Oh.
And yeah, let me see what you are. 8. Yeah, this is a troubling 9s. So you're a 36/9. She's a 32/5. The 9s and 5s struggle a bit because they're always moving around. And even when you're talking to them, you think you're really connecting, and because you're a 9, you're legacy memory keeper, the legacy builder, all that stuff, and they sort of check out. Well, it's your daughter, so you know that when she starts checking her phone or rolling her eyes or looking outside or something, it's like, no, pay attention. This is important. And so what it is just to understand that they have a really hard time with people who have expectations of them. Now, if it gets bad, because everyone has that, don't predict who I am, because I don't know who I am anyway. If you know that already, that's fine, but understand that they don't understand. They don't have tolerance for commitment.
Right.
So they need to learn how to choose what's important to them, the commitments that are important to them, and then say no to the others.
Yeah. And wow, because I get here very much her authentic self and proud of being who she is, I believe, but she doesn't know how to navigate her shadows with compassion and gentleness, and that's exactly what Deb just said.
Right.
And it's hard if because you can't even point that out to somebody, because then they'll think you're judging them. It has to be done by they have to become aware of it.
Yeah, but you know what you could do if you have any relationship at all with these people? What you can do is say, oh, someone turned me on to numerology, and I looked at this book, and look what it said about me, and oh my God, what it said about you. Do you think they're not going to read about themselves when you say that?
Well, that's very possible. Or look at their shadow, or you could even talk about your shadow side. Everybody has one. We can't help it. And, maybe you need to take a look at it. I learned so much about myself,
Yeah, right.
Yes. So Gerald just wants to know, is there a numerology book on the horizon?
Oh my goodness. I've got a couple in front of them, but I have been playing with it, and I've got a lot of requests for it, but thank you so much for asking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is Carolina Medley here? I see your birth date, hon, but I don't see anybody else with you. If you want to put in like your sister, brother, cousin, whatever you want, we can do that, because that's what we're reading on today. So this is Anya, and she wants to know about her relationship with her ex, whose birthday is 7/20/48. It's 12/29/50.
All right. My sister, 29/11. I know. And so I bet you're stuck with a 4 or something. No, I didn't mean it like that. 31/4. I knew it. I knew it. So I'm sorry. The thing is that you've got someone who, what attracted him to you? Sorry that I raised my voice like that. Probably got your ears blown out. But what he enjoyed about you in the beginning is your lighthearted vision for the future, and hope and dreaming and things like that. Whereas he facilitated that dream. So when you were together, it was quite good. But then he doesn't do drama. And not that you're dramatic, but you live close to the river is what someone in England told me, that when tears are at the surface, you can get emotionally moved at things. And he'd start rolling his eyes. It's just a movie, that type of thing. So I can see where it would be troubling if you didn't, but that it's a tough one.
And isn't that also he's a Cancer?
I don't know I don't know anything about astrology, but I know Cancer is emotional.
I think so. Yeah, it is. So I get here that it was difficult for you to ensure that your needs were met with him, and because he was a tough person, he took care of himself, but it was limited what he wanted to do with you. And he needs to find wholeness in himself and bring together the fragments that complete him. And maybe he has now, because you said he was remarried at some point. So maybe he found the puzzle piece that fit him better. But it's every relationship is at least 50-50, one person and the other person. But it could be some of them grate on each other. I've had several like that.
We all do.
We all do. So Denise actually had a question. This is her husband's birthday. Let's see if I have her birthday here. She's wanting to know if her husband he doesn't want to do archery this year or something. I don't know. Denise, can you put your birthday in too, honey, please? If you did, I'm sorry, I can't find it. So, all right.
I got to tell you, with this 5 life path, it's a 23-5. Mm-hmm. It's a little different than a 32-5, but they don't stick with things all their lives. If they have to, they become bitter and hard to live with. So my father was a 5, and all he really wanted to be is a salesman, but that is too irregular. So he had to be a policeman. He had to hold that all of his life, and he hated it. Mm-hmm. So, so in other words, if you keep someone in a box, well, you always said you liked archery. What's going on? We invested all this money. Now you don't want to do it. That was, just let it be. Sell it. Sell stuff. 626.
Except I know you're not 1864. You would be really rich by now, Denise, if you were living from that time period. But
and you would have probably bought when Apple was
but anyway, she says he loves the mountains. And I knew it was 1964.
He's a really deep soul. So when you project, and I know Denise, you're very you hold the light in up to everything. Even now I'm asking you to give me someone that you don't like, and you can't do it. You can't give me someone you don't like. You have to give me someone you like. Right. So that's the thing. And for you to anticipate his needs, he wouldn't meet anyone like you doing that, because you're a 7, 34-7. So that means whatever you focus on, you get really good at. And if you focused on supporting him and your marriage or your connection, then you can anticipate his needs. And he's not the easiest one, because he does want to change his mind a little more often, but you say, okay, that's cool. That's good.
Okay. So we are doing specific readings today. So Jay Hannah, we're looking for your birth date and somebody that you might have a little bit of a relationship issue with. Let's put it that way. So for your husband, his true potential is waiting to be discovered, and he has a lot of creative power. Maybe he doesn't feel he can use it for some reason, and maybe that's why, or that he doesn't want to anymore. Maybe that's why he doesn't want to do archery. Maybe it's like, I'm tired of doing archery. I want to do something else.
Change his mind.
Yeah. But here's the light in the darkness, and you are that light in the darkness, because that's exactly what Deborah just said. It says that you love, and you're very clear and aware that your relationship is really a good one. So I'm feeling that way. Yeah.
And one more thing about the 5. So you might remember I was saying they have a hard time with commitment. If you marry them, you can't get rid of them. You can't, it's like gum on your pants. They will stay devoted, and it's not every time, but the reason being is that if they find someone that gives them room to change their mind about things, that's hard to find. Yes. That's hard to find.
That's very true. That's
so
very
bravo.
True. Thank you, Denise. All right, so we've got Jacqueline. She's born 1/10/82. Son, Jason must be her husband. 20 years in marriage. 2/27/75, and she says, "I'm very done. I don't know if it can be fixed."
Oh.
Yeah, okay. Okay. We'll take a look at it.
Yeah, I can see. Oh my God, I love the numbers. Let me just grab. Wow. So who's who? Okay, you're a master number 22. So you're deliberate in your thinking. You anticipate what your future is going to be on. You don't have a lot of risk inside of you. You're uncomfortable with risk, too much risk, but you're a builder. You're a master builder. So you everything you do, let's say you're married, you are married, everything you do is to build a stronger foundation for that union. Now, what your soon to be ex maybe, or Jason, you gave him a number, he's a 34/7, which can be academia. It could be like that funny professor things, and they can be kind of fickle. They can go in one direction and then argue with you about things where it's like, you don't do drama either. You just like no drama, but he can get, I told you that I did 100 serial killers' birthdays. There's 30% more chance of a serial killer being a life past 7, because they have this tedious way of looking at things and trying to mold the world around that. I'm not saying they're bad at all. It's just that if they misuse their greatness, misuse their divine gift into being manipulative or mean-spirited, then they're successful for sure, but they're not very easy to be around.
Yeah. Wow. That's my daughter, and my daughter loved Dexter.
Oh, yeah, I know that. I know.
Yeah. It doesn't mean she's going to be one, but she thought it was great. She thought she loved it.
In that lineup of 100 serial killers, there was women in there too.
I know.
There's women, and there was only one life path 2 in the whole mix. And I thought, it's a woman. So I looked it up, and I knew that it was going to be, her defense was, I was abused. I was under his spell. I was, and that's true. She was, but she still killed people. Right. So
she did. Yeah. Anyway, Jacqueline, I have here that you're angry, and actually you're both angry. Your expectations are not being met. And so you need to realize that you have to express that in a healthy way and drop expectations so you can balance each other out. And that's a decision that has to be made. That's something that you would have to work together on. The second thing I get is you also don't have your hidden desires being met, which is any longing you have, or your potential, or like, say you want to go to Greece and for a month and live off the land or whatever. You have like alternative visions for what you want in your relationship. And I actually had to drop my expectations with my husband after he became disabled, because I'll be miserable all the time if I don't. So that's really hard. But if you're young, so you can make your decision to do whatever it is you want. So yeah, Linda, I have to admit I watched them too. So all right. So Willow, twin flame, is 12/12/78. Her birthday is 8/18/78.
I don't, this twin flame stuff, I don't read twin flames, because that's code. That's code for women staying in rotten situations too long.
Well,
so because it's divine and everything. Now I know that that's probably not you, but I'm looking for someone who's struggling with a relationship. I'm not. This isn't. Is that what you would like to know? Are you struggling with your twin flame?
Let's see. Oh, Kim B, don't worry. Everything is generic, honey, in this reading. So if you're a 7, you're fine, sweetheart. You may be a different 7 than others as well.
Yes. Yeah. Be careful. One eye when you're sleeping. No. Yeah. But they have a real God spark, secondary God spark to God too. 7s do. So
yeah. No, I'm talking to Kim B.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. No, I'm telling that to Jay Hannah. All right. Are you here, sweetheart? Let me move on, and I'll come back to you if you have an answer. I don't know if Willow's here. All right. So what I have here is Hinda, and her son's birthday is May 17th, 82. And I'll give you hers. May 26th, 51.
Okay.
Yeah, these are adversarial relationships that she is looking at this point. And it doesn't have to be a rotten relationship. It's just, my daughter and I never got along when she was growing up. And now I know why, even though I already knew. Yeah.
Yeah. To be yourself, you have to adjust your connection to the other person. It doesn't mean you have to give them up. But sometimes you just have, that's your lesson in life, is how to adjust and get yourself positioned so you can remain steadfast in love. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I love numbers so much. I know I always say that. So Sun is a master number 33. And you are a master number 11, 2911. So this is what I really need you to look this up, because the 33 master number has this incredible, all the master numbers have this incredible weight on their shoulders, thinking, I've got to do something big. I feel like there's something out there I'm not paying enough attention to. And so the 33, though, would be hard on themselves and therefore hard on others. They can be bossy. They can orchestrate a lot of different things really easily. If you wanted to have, if they were inclined to, if you're having an event and they wanted to put it on, give it to a 33 or a 6. And that'd be good. But sometimes they have all the reasons in the world. So as they make a declaration of truth, they have the backup to prove it. So this is what I did, which made me do this. And 11 doesn't do that. I am here, and I don't care what you think of how you think I got here. I am here. And so that's like the thing. He has the receipts. And
he's very bossy, she says.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Well, you know what, Hinda? He sabotages himself. That's what this is saying. So what he's doing is he creates negative self-talk with himself. He has a fear of failure. And so he needs to overcome that sabotage. Things are going fine. And then he'll say, well, nothing works out. And so then it doesn't. So the next thing is boundaries, respecting and honoring your limits. He needs to take care of his boundaries because he's too assertive sometimes. And you're saying at this point, you're not talking to him. It's probably because he crossed the boundary line for you. Yeah. Wow. Wowee.
Jay Hannah said, she says, okay, I have a twin flame, but he isn't alive though.
Okay. Oh. Yeah. We're only going to pick one. And she already put on what she had. So yeah. All right. Let's see. Yeah, we can't take any more. We get so many. Yeah.
I lose friends when I put up parameters. And I'm sorry if I offend anybody, but stick with me long enough, I will offend you. The thing is that twin flames and the other words, soulmates, usually are toxic relationships. But I don't know. Oh, okay.
That's the way you look at it. And again, this is entertainment, everybody.
Yeah.
You know this person more than Deborah and I do. So, yeah. Thank you. All right.
My oldest. So
Her oldest
Your
son.
birthday. Okay. Your birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I see. My birthday is that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a son. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I've had a different history with those words, just like you have had a different history. And I have just seen, so I've worked the hotlines, right? And
Right.
so I've all the people who have decided to put a candle in the window for people that are very bad, you know what I mean? But it's easy, it's my soulmate. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have problems. Yeah. Nonetheless, you're a 22 master number, sweetheart. And what your son is an 8. So 35-8. So ideally, you guys get along. Delayed gratification. You respect each other. Once you put your foot down, it's pretty much put down. And you enjoy building things, building community, building a doghouse, building a cake, and he enjoys doing the same thing, creating wealth. The good things. So it feels like a very good thing. If it's not working out and you're having a lot of trouble, I'd highly recommend you go ahead and put into Google, you are a life path 33. He has a 35/8. And I guarantee you're going to find something that you're going to say, oh yeah, that's it. And then once you see the other person's perspective or motivation, a lot of times it's easier to
negotiate with. It's all a part of understanding what the potential could be. And it doesn't mean that this is 24/7 this person acts like this. This is just a part of who they are and how they have presented. Yeah.
A lot of times people don't, the 22s sometimes don't know that they make people uncomfortable because they're quiet. They observe, they're more of an observer, they're quiet. You never know what they're thinking. And then they're in their room for a long time. You know?
There you go. Yeah, that's true.
That's just naturally.
So I have here that he can be very fearful and feel vulnerable about certain things, and that he is needs to show up. Basically, he needs to show up and be who he is, but he self-sabotages as well. So that's another. We all have the potential to be a saboteur. We do that all the time. It's an unconscious thing many times, but it is one of those archetypes that everyone has. Everyone has a prostitute archetype, and I know that sounds really awful, but that means what you will do for money. Okay, it doesn't mean you're going to have sex with people and stuff. It just means this is how I have to prostitute myself to have a job. And the other one is the saboteur, because we all sabotage our own good many times. It just, we don't know it. And so we do it and we wonder why everything is.
You know, I got another hit on this. If you're struggling with it, it could be because he thought he would be farther in life, farther monetarily in life than he is right now. And that makes him frustrated. He can be jealous of other people that they've had more luck in life or something like that. And then you are there, that master builder. Say, oh, you want to build a business? Let's go. Let's work together and I'll help you build it. Right. But then he says, well, it takes too long. You know, that type of thing.
Right. Yep. That's true. That's true. All right. So, Donna Marie, I'm going to find the other one you have. I think you had more than one listed, but well, all right. I'll keep it up with your husband. I guess that's the one that, because she put in some people are putting several in and I'm getting all confused. So yeah. And Carolina Medley, if you're here, who is your adversarial other that you want to have and what is their birthday?
And that is you, right? Husband.
And Gerald, if you hang on, we'll take a look at it, sweetheart. Yeah.
Oh, when things are good, things are really, really good. Of course, that's with everybody. But he has a 2911, which means he's a little more sensitive than you are. You have a gift of, well, when you were young, you might have felt really uncomfortable with anybody being sad. And so it was you to creatively make things better. And with your husband, he needs to wallow in his sadness for a while, his frustration, to work it out. It's almost a physical thing that he has to do. And if you don't have patience for that, which you may not, if you don't have patience for that and let him do that, then and insist that let's just go to the movies instead of you working out this problem, that might be triggering for him. I don't know if there's a trouble with you guys. It looks like it's just that.
Okay. So I get some resentment. I don't know what that's all about.
She says,
It might be that you get to work from home. I don't know, Donna, because I know that you do work from home, but there is some resentment. It often festers, and there's a little bit of revenge there. So whatever that is. I also get there's even the sweetest bird harbors fierce intentions. It says feathered omens. In other words, there might be some things he's holding back. Mine does that all the time. He says, well, I wanted to tell you this 3 months ago, but I never did. That's the kind of thing that I'm feeling. Yeah. It's like, why didn't you just tell me? Oh, because I knew you wouldn't like it. Well, I'd rather that you tell me than I find out somewhere that, it isn't terrible stuff. It's mostly I was really sick and had chest pains or something like that, and I'm like, you should have told me that,
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Be careful.
Are we okay to keep going here for a few more?
Yeah.
Okay. I do have a show at 4:00 with Linda De Gonzalez and Viviani, but this is Linda speaking of. Her daughter's 5580 and she's 21553. All right. Next is Carolyn, Stacy, Amanda, Maureen, Venus.
Oh man, go.
Kerwan. We'll do the best we can, everybody. And I said we'd do Gerald. So yeah, I get it, Donna.
Oh, interesting. So we're looking at you being a 26-8 and daughter is a 28-1. So you are a delayed gratification kind of person, build step by step by step. And daughter is, oh, come on, let's just, and she'll change her mind. She would sometimes get this great idea and then it's nixed somehow. And then she'll pout, be very indignant, but then it's short-lived usually. And then another idea comes in. But see, that's the opposites. You are a planner and she is a pantser.
Yeah.
So she rides off the seat of her pants and you plan a little more. That's the rub. It looks like.
And I get the same thing. I get that her inner balance is off. She just can't seem to balance what it is she needs to do in the time that she's given to do it. And that she can be very close-minded. And it says unwilling to consider other perspectives. And so it could just be, my daughter's that way. She's not the same numbers and all that, but she likes spirituality, but she doesn't, care anything about watching YouTube or, learning anything interesting like that. So, we just say, okay, well, you could be a little bit open-minded, but
one of the other things about one, if you have a child or something with one, you have no idea, especially being an 8, you have no idea the chatter in her brain. If she was in the mall with a bunch of girlfriends, she would compete in her mind. She'd be the first one to the door so she could open it for everybody. She'd be, the first one to organize something, that type of thing. So there's that. She works a little overtime on that.
Awesome. That's awesome. All right. So Carolyn's friend Matt, age 655. Carolyn's 81354. She's known him 40 years. Well, I guess you put up with each other, Carolyn. Sorry, everybody. We're tying up the ones we already had, and it looks like this is going to be a really good thing for us to do next time as well. So hopefully we'll be able to, because this is fun. I agree.
So Carolyn, you are a 31-4, just like Aley, I think. Yeah, I got all these numbers. But Matt is that 34-7. So again, if he gets, what's that?
That's me and my daughter. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's the thing, when they get an idea, and if you show weakness, sorry, if they know that something bugs you, it's like, they're just, they'll keep that in mind. Now that's the mean-spirited part of it, but also I can see why he's in your life, because there is an avenue you can move through him to visit the upper octaves. In other words, he does have these right combination of words that come out of the blue, and you think, oh, okay, I can adopt that. I can add that to my arsenal. And so, yeah.
Awesome. Carolyn, you got sometimes he has some secrets. Maybe you found them out after a while, but that's what that card comes out. It says he has a relentless craving for something. It might be a habit, might be eating, drinking, playing, gambling, buying stuff, could be dancing. I mean, it could be anything really, but there's like a hunger for this relentless craving that he wishes to fulfill in his life. That's what I get for him. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. We are winding down with people at this point because this is our second hour. So I'm not taking any new ones, but we are finishing up with what we've got. Here's Gerald's. I'm going to do his because he may have to run off to a show. Yeah. Two people. There's a woman, 22-4. So she's a 4, and he's an 18-9.
Oh, you're an 18-9? Oh, interesting. That's interesting. I'd like to know what your birthday is, actually. But now I can talk to you later about it. But the 22-4 is a 4, which is that rigidness. You know, it's a 4 corners, and you can't move roll a box. But it's the upper octave of that, the 22. So that's still the master builder. And so with that being said, and if you are a 9, then it would be, see, you have an insight. It's almost one-upmanship, it feels like to me. Like you're both you're geniuses with as far as moving into building things and seeing the world as how you can methodically get to your place, but you're on the creative side. And so you could look at something, abstract space analysis, like to unfold the box on those tests, and you can imagine. And the 22 can do that well, but it's a little bit longer because they're methodical, that type of thing.
Wow. Yeah. So there is some imbalance in the she. And everybody has imbalance, but this has to do with duality. I get the feeling she's black or white, you know what I mean? Like it's up or down, in or out, black or white, and there's no shades of gray. I don't know if that resonates, but I also get that anger can ensue between the two of you. And if that's an adversarial situation, that makes a lot of sense. It says release and balance because, or tell her what your expectations are. But don't say their expectations. Maybe say, I really would like it if you were less confrontational or less nasty in your whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing. If you're a 9, you're a little more sensitive.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It is frustrating.
I know.
I totally get it. Yeah, I totally get it. Thanks, Gerald. Thanks for the feedback. Yeah. And thank you, Carolyn. So he likes a cocktail. Well, that's good. All right. So we have Stacy G. All right. So Stacy, Amanda Carol, Maureen, Venus for right now. We'll get to you if we can, Karen. I've got you in here, and I've also got Jay Hanna, Carol Berner, and then I think we're done. We closed the questions down. So, but if this is a great and Deborah only wanted adversarial relationships more than anything. So next
Oh,
time,
my.
maybe we'll do a different kind of relationship.
Yeah. It's just no understanding what other people do. And people don't know what their kryptonite is.
No,
And if
they
you
don't.
know inside of what the kryptonite is, then you can say, guess what I learned today? Your kryptonite.
I know how to deal with you now.
So, both these numbers add up to 2911. So we've
Okay.
got master numbers times 10 here. And so the visionary, the vision and the understanding, and also the abstractness. But the one thing about the 11s is that they need their space. So it's your daughter. I think growing up, maybe when she was younger or something like that, that she spent a lot of time in her room, or very, very comfortable being on their own and being isolated. But then because that 11 is trying to figure out who they are in the world with other people. But the double one is like, I like myself. In fact, I'll just go ahead and say it. It's been my experience of reading people is that the 11s are more comfortable with separate bedrooms than most other things. It's just because they want to have that air around them.
I understand.
Yeah,
I understand. Yeah. Actually, my daughter can be like that. She's not 11, but she has a room just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people have apartments just in case. I've seen that.
What number was your daughter again?
Well, she was a 34-7, but
a 7. Oh yeah, she needs her.
But she didn't have a boyfriend until she was about 40. She never dated anybody. So yeah, she's a late bloomer. Anyway, Stacy, your daughter may have a lack of awareness as to opportunities or insights that are presented right in front of her face, and she's just not looking. She just doesn't see it. You see it maybe, and so she misses some chances. And she needs to be more aware of that. And then sacred boundaries is the last one here. Respecting and honoring your limits sets you free. So she needs to take care of herself. She needs to become more self-aware and also more self-aware of her own self-care. So.
Oh, and one more thing, because you're both the 2911. In your mind, in your quiet mind, you will relive an argument. And then at the end of that fantasy, you'll decide black and white whether you're going to talk to them again. This is all quiet inside yourself. And then you close the door and you just don't think about it anymore. You can compartmentalize. And so that's how you each pout.
Oh, okay. I'm going to go over here and slam the door, and you go over there and slam the door. All right.
Yeah, you do you.
You be you. All right. So Amanda Carroll, mom is 13039. And she's 12-10-63.
Oh, and you already know that's a 5. Okay, good.
That's 5, yeah.
Move into 5.
23-5. Yeah.
Oh, wow. See, this is where it gets. So she's a 26-8. So her whole life, you have been like a puzzle to her because you're more comfortable with risk. You're more carefree with change, and she is not. It's like the opposite. So I can see it. That'd be like oil and water. And that would be a real struggle. Real struggle.
Yeah. So your mom has have some hidden desires that perhaps she doesn't really tell you about, some kind of a longing, some kind of a passion that's unfulfilled, and she wants to fulfill it. And of course, the older we get, the less apt that we'll be able to, depending on what it is. And then I get here, she can be stubborn, very stubborn. And it says, but it also can denote perseverance. But sometimes she's not flexible enough. And so in order to grow, she needs to realize she needs to be flexible and not so stubborn. Yeah, for sure. All right.
Sure. I like that feedback.
All right. We got Maureen and her stepmom. So 5570 is Maureen. Stepmom 6957. thanks everybody for being here with us today.
Interesting.
Saji with mommy issues. I know you love her. She's super stubborn. Oh, Amanda. Oh, I'm sorry.
What was that? Super stubborn.
Super stubborn. Yeah.
Okay. So, I can see, so mom, it needs to be number one. She's a 37 one, which makes it a real interesting what she came to learn and things. So she's the one who, just crash in and hope for the best type of thing. You're a 9. It's like, don't, you're breaking things. You're breaking things that should have lasted a long time. And you're not as careful with things as I'm comfortable with. So you're more of the legacy builder, the memory keeper, and she is as well, but she can change her mind like really fast, then get bored with things really, really fast. And you're not that way.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I get here that she sits in darkness a lot. She's not self-aware of some of the things that she does. It says she needs to light up the darkness and be more aware of herself and the reactions that she gets from you or anyone else. The second one is she needs to embrace the void. Her true potential is waiting to be discovered, but she feels very empty and maybe doesn't feel fulfilled. But she's got to realize the only person that can do that for herself is herself. So,
yeah, and there's one other thing with this combination is that the ones you want to, they just need to feel seen, and they don't have to always feel like number one, but part of it, and that their input is valuable. So when if they don't get that, I don't care how old you are, their life will become a little more dramatic until you see them.
Okay. So Venus, give me the years for your sister or your dad. We need the year too. All right. I have yours. Thank you for that. So I'm just going to move into this next one while you put that up for me. We can only do one. So say if you want your niece, your father, whatever. That way Deborah can get to it. All right. Her birthday, well, I won't give it to you yet. Never mind. Sorry. We're going to go to Quran. Her birthday is July 29th, 1993. And his is December 8th, 88.
Okay.
Okay, Venus. Thank you. Oh, Carolyn, I'm so glad you updated me on your daughter. I'm glad she came through the operation and everything's okay. Oh, Maureen, I get it. I get it.
Well, we've got a little bit of the same kind of thing, because he is the 37 one, same kind of thing where he needs to be seen, and you are a 40/4, which means just you really needed to learn about how to put your ducks in a row and feel safe and all that stuff. Whereas so the 4 is not comfortable with risk, but the 1 is. So that's the rub with that.
Okay. That's the rub. All right. So what I get is jumbled thoughts. He's got jumbled thoughts. He doesn't really know what he wants to do. He's confused. Yeah. He's looking for an escape. He's kind of he's got anxiety. He doesn't know. It's like being really confused about what it is you want to do. And I get the sense that some of that just comes from maybe other things that have happened in his life that he doesn't know how this will work out or that will work out. He's also doing some avoidance, and that's true here anyway, because he has jumbled thoughts, but he needs to he has a need to avoid discomfort, but because he avoids it, it's more uncomfortable. but you're talking about a man who, a lot of men will not talk about their feelings. They only talk about concrete things, and it's very difficult to get a man to do that. So, you know, unless he can open up and you have a two-way conversation, it makes it really difficult for you in this relationship. Thank you. All right. So we got Venus here, and Venus is 3/18/82.
And her mom is 7/8/51.
Right.
And I went ahead and did that. And it's
good.
the same type of thing. Venus, you are the wonderful 32/5. So you are more, ideally, you are more comfortable in front of the camera than behind it. I mean, if you wanted to be YouTube star, you could do that. And you communicating, you're good with like journalism would be good, and delivering the messages of journalism, that kind of, that's you. Now, mom is again 31/4, which less comfortable with that kind of behavior. She admires it, I'm sure, but if you, you know, just understand that for you, she's sitting at home watching Jeopardy, and that's like, what are you doing that for? We could go to a movie, we could do that, you know, that kind of stuff. But she's so happy. That's like her jam. And so let her have her routine. And that's where you don't want to spike up her routine as best you can.
All right. So I get self-sabotage. Again, if you were here earlier, you know that we all have sabotage in our lives, but maybe she procrastinates, talks negatively, or, you know, she needs to be a little more resilient in what she has to do. But she also needs to face any inner demons that she has. She needs to transform and integrate some of the darkness with the light. But the problem is she has to want to do it. And she has to recognize that that is a problem. So again, the shadow cards say, okay, but, you know, unless the person's willing to make the change or to see those things, it's very difficult for them to be aware of it. So I already did it, Kiran. It was right before this one. So you can go back and look at it. Yeah. All right. So the 29th of May is Jay Hannah's. We're just going to go right ahead with the first child. How about 31st October 06?
I don't have your year, so I can't do that. But I can tell you more about your first child.
Yeah. Put your year in, Jay Hannah. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't catch that.
I've got 13/4. That's a 13/4 for your first child. Second child.
84. She's born in May 29th, 1984. Thank you.
Okay, and I'm doing the second one is 11/6.
You're welcome, Amanda.
Wow, those are kind of opposite people. First and second kids are a little opposite. Oh, there's 3.
Yeah. Wow. I was just picking the first one so you wouldn't have to go through the whole thing.
8, 10.
We got a baby, a 4-year-old. I don't think I'm going to worry about that one, but I'll read the shadow cards on the older ones.
Wow, what a mix. So your kids are like this. So the first one and the second one, oil and water. Again, the first one's a 4, so they like security, they like routine. And the opposite is true with the second one. That's a 19/1. And then the third one is a 14/5. So we're looking at the second and third one being more on the same line than the first one. But the firstborn, this is it. It's that firstborn syndrome where they want to take care of the family, take care of it. So all of this and I say, oh, they're oil and water, but all of this, it depends on perspective and how they're raised. We are, if they start fighting, saying, no, 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 we are a family. And don't let them get away with it, not even once. You say, wait a minute. And you don't have to kiss and make up. You just have to understand ABC, that type of thing. And I bet you your firstborn will take ownership of being a part of the family as far as a leader goes. So if you want to encourage a leadership in the firstborn to take care of the second and thirdborn, then you need to admire his tenacity, admire things that he does, and look up what a 13-4 is, and that. I didn't do yours. Maybe you can read on the firstborn, and while I do her numbers. Okay.
The firstborn likes to detach from daily struggles and relax, like be on they like to chillax. They like to not worry about having to deal with anything. They sometimes have a hard time facing reality, like maybe they have a paper due tomorrow and they haven't started it yet, that kind of thing. And the second thing is lots of jumbled thoughts, lots of time spent in the head, some confusion and anxiety there. But that might be because they are not facing the reality that's around them and needing to get the work done.
Here is the good news. You have the perfect life path to raise these children into wonderful citizens. You are a 3811. You're emotional, but it's not overwhelming. You have control over your emotions, and you can see outside the box. So you can really see the difference between the children, their personalities. You're truly raising independent people. I think that's great.
They are quite a funny mix. There you go. Well, you know what? I love your attitude about it, because that will be your success if you recognize they're all so individual.
You're a perfect mama for them.
That's good. That's so interesting. All right. So Carol Berner, this is our last one. Her daughter's birthday is 2/13/81.
Okay.
And Carol is Valentine's Day 61, 2/14.
2/14/61. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks everybody for being here with us. We'll be coming back in about 2 weeks, and maybe we'll do some more of these for those of you who weren't able to get it done.
Okay, this is very interesting. So I've got your daughter. It's your daughter. Your daughter is a 25/7. So they're a little less complicated than the 34, but it's just a little bit. But you are 24/6. Now your 6 is you're methodical. You can get things done. You can see a vision, and your shadow side is being controlling. And but in a good way, because the person that you can really do it better than anyone else. You're coming by it naturally, but the 7 needs room, a little more room to grow, and be odd and be weird and not make sense. Whereas the 6 needs to have. Here's something about a 6. Let's say you lose something. Oh, I lost something, and you're just a mess over it. They will assume, this is about the 6, that you hadn't checked the bedroom under the car. You hadn't checked this and that, even though you've spent all day doing that. It's like so frustrating. Yes, that's all.
That's great. I love that. There are some unseen patterns in your daughter that she needs to reprogram some of her beliefs. In other words, she needs to change her thoughts, change her life, and try to think more positively about things. But she's got to come to that realization, because hearing it from mom is not always going to work. They're going to get a little defensive. But I get here that she does not like to be shamed, and she does not like you to say, for instance, you have some patterns there that need looking at. She says she needs compassion and acceptance. And of course, she is her own person. And so of course you would. You're her mom. You love her. But you know, I've said things to my daughter before, and then she'll say, well, thanks a lot, you know. And you know, wasn't really meant to hurt, but sometimes those things happen.
Understood with that. The thing is that it a little bit goes a long way. She really does admire you, and how even killed you are. She, you know, she really does admire that. So a little bit goes a long way if you say, you know what, I really admired how you got that done. I couldn't have done it that easy. Anything. We have to say out loud instead of just think in our head.
That's true. That's true. Wow. Well, everybody, thank you. We went through an awful lot of people here today. And Deborah, you're fabulous. You're so good with this numerology. And I really liked pairing it with the shadow cards, because I don't want to focus on the negative aspects of somebody, but if you can understand what they might be, or you can see that you see them, then that's important as well.
Or see something in yourself saying, oh, because somebody said, oh yeah, that I still do that, or something like that. And it's something you fall into. It's natural to do that, but self-awareness and that helps.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Also, it would be fun if we did this on Mother's Day and do mom and child readings. There you go. There's an idea. All right. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to be on a little while with Linda De Gonzalez and Viviani. We're going to do some Akashic Records readings. Deborah, you going on tonight? Or
tonight is with Lalit and astrology.
Okay. Yeah. Lots of things to watch tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you,
so
Deborah.
much. Love you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.